Gordon Ramsay didn't follow me because he knows me. He followed me because I'm fat and I like food. It's part of the algorithm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've lost 20 pounds since then. He's not going to follow me if I create a new Twitter.
Yeah.
You're going to have to gain 20 pounds,
I know.
dude.
Get more diabetes.
Hey guys, I'm Chris.
And I'm Wendy.
From ToastedMarshmallowAdventures.com.
And you're watching Toasted Marshmallow Adventures podcast.
Idaho's premier podcast for comedy and entertainment.
We know now more than ever, people are looking for ways to escape, and laughter is the best medicine.
On this show, we talk to comedians and entertainers from around the world. So if you're a fan of stand-up comedy or just looking to take a break from life, we got you.
We keep things light and fun, laughing as much as possible with occasional deep, thought-provoking moments intertwined.
So if you're in a safe space,
grab a cold one.
Hit the subscribe button on your favorite audio platform or YouTube.
And share some laughs with us. We are.
Okay, I wasn't right. Yeah.
And share some laughs with us. We are Toasted Marshmallow Adventures. We don't have a hype button.
No.
Pew, pew, pew.
Hi, I'm Chris.
And I'm Wendy.
And welcome to the Toasted Marshmallow Adventures podcast.
Woo!
Today, yes, we have the hype button. We have two now.
Yes.
But today in our Boise studio, we have with us comedian Jared Munson.
Yay!
Thank you so much for being with us today.
Yes, thanks for letting me guilt trip into here today.
You were on our list.
I was number 400 on the list.
No.
And I keep saying, put me on. So they did it out of pity.
No,
Not at all.
We've actually had conversations
have.
about you. Like, why haven't we had Jared on
said
yet?
That. Why haven't we had him on?
Yeah,
This
I know.
is ridiculous.
I was like, and I've always been like, yeah, we got to have him on.
Yeah.
And then something comes up, and then just, well, like when you were sick,
I
like
know.
shit slowed down for us because we weren't doing anything, and that was the perfect time to send out the invite.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
welcome. Yes,
thank
and
you.
who knows? Maybe the guilt trip worked a little bit.
A little bit.
So-
And you decided to do it on a 105-degree day.
Is
so
that
it's
what
like
today is?
It's 105. So it's like I left the
God.
sweatshops of Korea just to be living in another one. It's fine.
yeah,
Make me
geez.
feel like home.
Brutal.
That's correct. You are from Korea, right?
Barely.
Barely.
I was there for 4.5 months before I was
And-
adopted.
Okay, gotcha.
Wow.
Yep.
I-
Good times.
Yeah.
Good times in the Samsung factory.
Do you know your Korean family?
No.
Nothing.
Not at
huh?
all.
I know my mom was 18 when she had me, and
Mhm.
I
Wow.
was like, oopsie.
Yeah.
My whole family is basically adopted. My mom's adopted from Germany. My sister's adopted from a different family in Korea. My dad's the only one not adopted. So,
Oh, that's really cool, though.
yeah.
Yeah, wow.
So you guys can relate to
Yeah,
each
we're
other.
a whole family of fun.
Wow.
Whole family of fun.
Have you lived here your whole life?
No, so I grew up near Seattle. Lived 18 years there. Went to college in Spokane. Lived there till October of 2019, and then
Oh.
my folks retired here because my sister ended up here, and I had at the time 2 nephews. They were under 4 at the time that I never got to see. And I was like, Idaho, it's going to be cheap to be in Idaho back in 2019, and then
Was.
Back
to
then,
be.
yes.
and then the world ended,
Yes.
5 months later. So I
Oh,
still,
man.
Holy cow, you moved here, and then 5 months later, pandemic.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And then
Oh,
all the fun people of Boise blame me.
They blame. Oh,
Is
did
that
you
real?
did you experience
A little
some
bit.
of the
So I was-
Asian hate
yeah.
stuff?
Oh, no.
I was working at Best Buy at the time, and this one guy comes in because we were only allowing certain. It seems so weird now because like I was listening to the Today Show podcast, and they're talking about it was what was it 2 years ago, but it feels like it could have been 4.
Yeah.
We were only allowing 5 customers in at a time, and so we had each of us we had to be one-on-one with them, and this customer goes, President Trump did a lot of great things, except, and he turns and looks at me and goes, he didn't bomb China,
Oh, my.
and looked
Oh
right at
my
me.
God.
And I was like, I'm Korean.
Wow.
Yeah.
Take that.
But
Now, is it a bigger insult to be called a different nationality?
probably, I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Ask a real Asian. Ask
Okay.
a real one.
Yeah.
When I was in college, so Eastern Washington University had a lot of foreign exchange students, like a lot of other colleges.
Mhm.
They all knew I wasn't real.
Yeah.
Like there was a
yeah.
bunch of like foreign exchange students all in
Yeah.
packs didn't even look
Like
at
you're
me.
not part of
You're-
us.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're only a C math student. You're not. You don't belong.
Jeez. So you had like reverse discrimination against you. Like they're like, you're not part of us. You're with the
Yeah, and then like I always like I've started to say to my stand up, my parents taught me all about white privilege, but I got none of the benefits from it.
Yeah.
You would think I'd enjoy all these white privilege, but no, I don't.
Not so much.
Not especially in Idaho.
And your
Yeah.
parents are white.
Yes,
Oh.
very,
Yeah.
Very white.
very.
Very white.
Very,
like Jim
very white.
Gaffigan white.
Oh yeah, my dad's
Yeah.
my dad's Swedish
Okay.
and my mom's German, so
Yeah.
you can't get whiter.
More white.
Yeah.
than that.
And you're
No.
you have a sister that's also adopted?
Yeah,
Is she
so-
white?
No, we found out she did the 23andMe test. She's half Korean, quarter Japanese, quarter Chinese. I'm gonna get messages like, "Why are you telling everybody my life story?" But but yeah, no. So yeah, she's from a different family. But yeah, she has. We could tell. My parents thought when we were younger she wasn't full Korean because she has totally different facial characteristics.
Mhm.
Mhm.
She has bigger eyes, bigger nose,
Mhm.
and I look like this. Yeah, she lucked out. She lucked out a lot.
Do you use a lot of Asian references in your comedy? I've only seen you once do comedy, really.
Yeah, I've tried. It can turn into a crutch. You know, it's
Mhm.
every comedian has a crutch, and it can definitely turn into
Yeah.
that. I have a little bit of it. I think when I started doing stand-up when I was 17, so I've been doing it for 14 years.
Mhm.
I think at the beginning there was definitely way too much.
You started doing comedy at
17.
Wow.
Although the person coming to Watson's next weekend, she's been doing it since she was 8, I guess.
Holy cow.
8.
And then Pete Davidson's been doing it since he was 14. So I was behind the times.
Yeah, apparently.
I think there's the right amount now. I think it was hard for me after a while to write stuff that wasn't so Asian focused.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I made it a point to try to it out.
Right.
Mm.
So I think there's the right balance. Who knows?
Yeah. So no plans to go like the George Lopez route, because if you watch George Lopez's earlier stuff, he didn't have all the Hispanic references and like the, he
Honestly,
didn't
Bobby Lee.
switch
Yeah.
between English and Spanish all the time. You listen to him and he sounded kind of Southern a little bit.
Yeah.
And so not going that route.
No, I'm planning to aad a lot more Spanish jokes into my set.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so that's I'm doing Duolingo right now.
Duolingo,
So,
yes.
Mi perro es mi comida, which for those of you that speak Spanish that are listening, all 4 of you, that's my dog is my food. So it's not only an Asian joke, it's a Spanish joke.
Nice.
Look at that. Crossing borders and boundaries.
But
Are you a Bobby Lee fan?
I tried adding him on Facebook the other day. I tried adding him on Facebook the other day, and he denied it.
What?
It's one of those things that you would think you just let it sit there forever.
Yeah.
But I went back and it said add friend again. I was like, oh,
Wow.
Oh, he declined.
hot dog. I guess.
That's ridiculous.
The weird one that follows me. We'll probably go into this later. My Twitter got banned, but back in the day, the one who followed me was Dat Fan, the winner of Last Comic Standing,
Right.
Mhm.
the one that nobody likes anymore. Apparently,
Isn't that Bobby Lee's brother or
I
cousin?
do think he
or...
was just talking about
Are
that
they-
fan.
are they
Yeah,
actually related?
There's something
Oh.
there. Yeah, they were.
Okay.
He was talking
we're all
about
probably
maybe a cousin.
related somehow.
Yeah.
Margaret
Yeah.
Cho followed me as well, which I thought was pretty cool.
Whoa.
Oh, nice.
Margaret Cho's a huge
That's
idol of
crazy
mine.
awesome.
I remember listening to her way back in the, or not listening, watching her, because there was no like listening platforms. You know,
Mhm.
you'd see her on, probably would have been Comedy Central. You know, I'm talking like 90s Margaret Cho. But yeah, being out of San Francisco and I lived in the Bay Area at
Mhm.
the time, she was really huge back then in the 90s.
It's embarrassing to admit I got into Margaret Cho when she was on a Lifetime show called Drop Dead Diva. In
Really?
the early 2010s. It was about this model who died and came back in a plus-size woman's body who was a lawyer.
Oh, wow.
And I like my dream job growing up was to be a TV lawyer, not a
Mhm.
real lawyer, but a TV
TV
lawyer.
lawyer.
Like Boston Legal was my jam. I watched a lot of The Practice and
Oh, gosh.
Alan McBeal. So when Drop Dead Diva came on, I was like, sold. And yeah, Margaret Cho was one of the stars on that, and just kind of then discovered how amazing and groundbreaking she was as a comedian.
Mhm.
So yeah, love her.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see. So let's talk about real quick. God, what did you just mention that I wanted to touch on. So you came here from Spokane, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you were doing a talk show there at the time?
Yeah, so we filmed 3 episodes of a talk show for Community Minded TV. Shout out to them if you want to pick me back up. I'm waiting. It was the sister station to Spokane's PBS.
Oh, that's cool.
So we filmed a pilot. See, now it's like when you write a biography, which I doubt any of us have, but like you forget things and times and stuff, and you try to make it as factual. I want to say it was probably 2014 or 15 we filmed the first episode. Myself and another comedian were co-hosts. I had a house band.
That is awesome.
Yeah, had Harry J. Riley, who's been down here a couple of times as one of my guests. Then they were like, cool, we'll be in touch. Flash forward a year or two later, because I think we filmed it in 2017 or 2018. It was a year before I moved, so somewhere around there. Came back and was like, let's do some more. So I had guests lined up the day before. The day before we went to film, my co-host was going through some personal things and quit the day before.
Oh, jeez.
The day before. So I was scrambling and retooled it as kind of a half-hour version, which is what's on YouTube, which in turn kind of spun off into the podcast during the pandemic.
Yeah.
But that was fun. That's the dream still.
Gotcha.
What I kind of do with the podcast, as you know, is talk to people that need a platform. You know, a lot of the authors that I've had on aren't Stephen King or John Grisham. They're authors who people just assume authors that have a book published make millions of dollars, and that's not the case.
No.
Yeah.
A lot of these authors are making 20, 30, 40,000 a year.
Yeah, exactly.
So I want to give people a platform. I've luckily had the late Bob Saget on.
That's so cool.
But even he was on to talk about his foundation, because he doesn't have, when he's talking to Entertainment Tonight and all these things, like he said, he only gets, 2 minutes to talk about it.
Yeah.
So we spent, a good chunk of that hour talking about the Scleroderma Research Foundation. But when I had the talk show, it was about finding Spokane storytellers and entertainers and people that just kind of wanted a platform to kind of talk about their craft.
Yeah.
So hopefully someday in the future, I'm getting older, but hopefully I can do some version of that either in Boise or national, to just kind of promote the arts and these stories. It's kind of, I try to make it late night meets daytime. So when Ellen, Jimmy, any of the Jimmy hybrids.
Yeah.
There's so many of them.
I know there are. At one point, I was like, I can't tell them apart.
Well,
Chris is like, really?
Did you watch April Fool's this year when Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy Kimmel switched
Oh,
places?
yeah, I did watch
that
that.
was
Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah.
That was
I
so
was like, now
brilliant.
they're totally screwing with me.
Especially because it's cross networks, and usually they don't let you do that.
Yeah, really.
So that was brilliant.
I think after the pandemic, like anything goes, kind
Seems
of.
like
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely. So you started comedy, you said, when you were
17.
17.
In high school.
Wow.
Where were you
So-
able to do it?
My high school. So
That's cool.
I was my first 2 years in high school at Auburn Senior High School. It was a school built, I want to say, for like 2,400 kids, and we had about 2,900
Okay.
walking shoulder to shoulder. You adjust a number there. I hated high school my first 2 years. Didn't have too many friends. We were sitting outside. It was disgusting. And then going into my junior year, near my house, they finally, after 15 years, approved a new high school. So I decided to go there, got into ASB, got to kind of build something from the ground up, which was amazing.
What's ASB?
Associated Student Body. So like student government, different states and cities call it different things. Call me back and book me, Auburn School District. But it was great. And then one of the years we put on a talent show. And we wanted to do 2 singers, 2 dancers, and 2 comedians. The second comedian dropped out. I don't know why this is like a recurring theme for me, but the second comedian dropped out a day before.
Wow.
And so I don't know if I would say I was the class clown, but I was definitely very vocal in school. Go figure. And they were like, why don't you do it? So I wrote some jokes. I don't have the video anymore. It was on my MySpace. MySpace was also much better than Facebook for entertainers. There was jokes about not, and it's still really true to this day, about not much Asian representation on TV. Because at that time in 2006, you had Sandra Oh on Grey's Anatomy at the time. You had Dat Fan, who had just won Last Comic Standing at that time. And that was about it.
That was
When you
it,
think
yeah.
about it, back in 2006, it's gotten better now with Shang-Chi and Kim's Convenience and Crazy Rich Asians, and just what was it? Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we gotta watch that.
know.
So good. But there's still, I mean, when you think about it, there's for
we were
every.
just talking about this last night. What's that dumb show we watch?
Which one?
Married at First Sight.
Oh,
Yeah, they just got their first Asian couple.
couple. Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
we're like,
yeah.
holy crap!
Well, yeah, we
finally.
did like make.
Yeah, we were
a-
talking
we
about
talked
that.
about that. I was
But I
like,
feel
yeah,
like I feel like there hasn't been an Asian Bachelorette yet,
Right.
yeah.
or an Asian Bachelor. I mean, there's so much, and again, there's sometimes I when I think about myself, because I don't own mirrors for reasons. Technically, I'm Asian American, but growing up with white parents, it's one of those things I always debate. Like, what do I identify as?
Mhm.
Yeah.
But again, knowing my outer look, there's not much of me out there, and I still think, especially where we live, there's really not much
Yeah, true.
representation at all.
There really
no,
isn't.
there
No.
not
So that, again, that's why I've had some of those guests that I've had on the podcast to give, because Sarah Ecavara was she's Filipino American.
I know. I wanted to ask her, and I didn't get the chance in your podcast. In Bend, Oregon, where's the best spot to get Filipino food? Because I grew up around tons of Filipinos in Vallejo, California. Vallejo, California, actually at the time per capita had more Filipinos than the Philippines.
Oh wow!
Wow.
And so, yeah. And so all my friends growing up were Filipino. And so I always ate Filipino
Oh,
food.
so good.
Oh, it's delicious. And there's nowhere around here to really get it. Like Island Kind Grinds in Nampa has some Filipino stuff, but, it's not a full menu or anything like that. So, yeah, I wanted to ask her, and Ben, where do you get good Filipino food? Because we usually go to Ben like once a year at least,
Yeah.
Just to hang out and have fun. But
Well, we're gonna hold her to coming back on September when her book comes out.
Oh, nice.
oh, okay,
You
cool.
can ask her then.
I'll ask her
Remember.
then. Yes.
We'll revert to this conversation on this podcast to talk about my
yes,
book.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
but-
Chris was like, I didn't have a break. I couldn't ask.
yeah.
Well, my voice was gone, so you really could have.
Oh yeah,
stepped in.
that was right when
Couple
you
days
the
ended
next
up getting-
day or two you said you got COVID.
I felt
yeah.
so bad. I thought it was
We
strep.
didn't get it.
Good,
We
thank
were
God.
amazed.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because I was
Yeah.
like, I thought it was strep, and my coworker was like, "You don't have tonsils. It's probably not strep." I was like, "It could be though."
Yeah.
Right?
Because it mimicked everything. Because I've had strep multiple times, and that's
Mhm.
part of the reason I got my tonsils out. So when it came in, I was like, oh, I've been looking forward to it. And I was like, I don't want to cancel. I don't want to cancel.
Yeah.
And I was like, if it's strep, I really can't give it to somebody.
Mhm.
Didn't even cross my mind.
Right, I know.
I was one of those people that felt so horrible because I didn't even want to message you because I was like, I feel like a total
No. It was
total
so
Yeah.
awesome that you did let us know. Yeah. Because I work with
yeah.
seniors, so
yeah,
I was able to let them
Yeah.
know, like, we
Mhm.
might have had an experience.
because
Yeah.
I was so safe, during those 2
Oh, of
years.
course, yeah.
And I mean, I traveled, but I still masked up when I needed to when I was in Texas and
Mm.
everything. I was like,
Yeah, it gets you.
Yep.
Can we talk
Yeah.
about Texas? That was pretty
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh yes. So you when we did that podcast there, that was when you just got back from
Mhm.
Texas, and you were like, "Oh, I think I'm losing my voice from being at the thing in Texas." I was like, "Oh yeah, that sounds fine." Right? Luckily, yeah,
It's just COVID.
I'm sitting over here,
Yeah.
so we were far enough away. I didn't get
Didn't-
any
and
of your
the
shit.
air was probably
Mhm.
blasting
Yeah,
something.
exactly.
I'm just sitting like this, like, yo, talk about your
You're like,
book.
I'm losing my voice. I was like, yeah, sounds like he's losing his voice.
So have you gone to this convention several times? And what is your
Yes.
purpose, point? Is it just cool or
I want to say politically correct because
okay?
I let them know I wasn't the most happy with this last time.
Oh
down there.
dang.
Mm.
Okay.
So it's the I already put my foot in my mouth. It's the ATX Festival in Austin, Texas, which is an amazing festival if you're a television fan.
Mhm.
This was their first year back since the pandemic. They've done it virtual the last 2 years.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Mm.
It's amazing as a so I went 4 other times. 3 of those 4 times I had been press, so I got to interview the celebrities, which makes
Oh,
it
cool.
even more fun.
Mhm.
For some reason or another, I was not pressed this year.
How did you get in as press before?
So I I don't use it anymore. It's still up, just kind of as an archive. But I ran an entertainment website with my friend back in Seattle for years because we'd always talk about movies we'd watched or TV shows.
Mhm.
So we just did reviews on them. And this festival came out. My friend in Spokane, Renee, she's like, "Hey, they're doing the Gilmore Girls reunion in Texas, and the cast of Boy Meets World is going to be there." could have cared less about Gilmore Girls. Boy Meets World was my jam growing up. So we went, and that year I applied really late, and I still got a press pass.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to interview. Who did I interview that year? I got to hang out with Ben Savage. It was fun. I interviewed the creator of Boy Meets World. I don't think I interviewed too many that year because it was relatively late in the process.
Mm-hmm.
I met some of the cast of Friday Night Lights and got to interview Buddy Garrity and his son on that show. And they've always tried to keep it smaller than South by Southwest. They wanted to make it kind of a hometown feel.
Mm-hmm.
And this year was not that.
It was
But
huge.
it was huge. I applied for the press pass as early as I usually do.
Mm-hmm.
They said they were limiting the number of press passes. I was like, well, I already bought my airfare and plane ticket. Like I'm coming.
Man.
Yeah.
That wasn't cheap. So they said they let me know and when I got down there, I talked to a couple other reporters and they're like, oh yeah, we just got ours yesterday.
Oh, wow.
That hurts.
So neither here nor there. So I brought all my stuff down for the podcast just in case.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Didn't work out. It's fine. It ended up being fun. I met Ed Helms and Craig Robinson
I know.
Yes.
from The Office.
We go to sleep to The Office every night.
Yeah,
we,
pretty much. Yeah.
We have watched the show
Every
8 million
episode, yeah.
times.
Do you have Peacock, Lynn?
Yes.
we
See,
do, yeah.
When I was on Netflix, that's exactly what I would do.
Yes.
I would
Yeah.
sleep to The Office.
We
but
had to get Peacock because we couldn't sleep.
now,
It's either that or Forensic Files. And I'm
Uh-huh.
like, I can't
Ooh.
go to sleep till
Yeah.
I'm
that
dying.
stopped years ago because I would always watch like Forensic Files
Like,
or
these
something
are all
like
women
that.
being killed. I
Like
can't
going to sleep. And yeah, early in our relationship, Wendy's like, we can't watch this going to bed.
women-
I have like
it's not ever men.
nightmares and
Like
Yeah,
men
some-
dying, maybe.
you got to
but-
watch women that kill or
Women
something.
that kill, yeah.
We should do that.
Yes.
so I switched to The Simpsons because I have Disney Plus.
Oh, nice.
And there's 600 episodes,
Yes,
literally
you can do
600
that.
episodes of that. So, that was fun. And then
Did you get to talk to them?
barely. So,
Okay.
when they release, when they release the panel, I'll send you the link.
But why do these people, why do they go? Is
Yeah,
it promotion for them?
Good question. Yeah. So they always get panels. So, in years past, so the first year I went, they always try to do one big reunion, and that was the Gilmore Girls reunion the first year.
Mm-hmm.
This year it was the Scrubs cast reunion, and I think that was the big one. So they try to do that. This year they didn't. They usually do a canceled too soon series.
Oh.
So one year they had what was it called? Journeyman, that had Kevin McKidd, who's on Grey's Anatomy now. So this year they work with a lot of the studios,
Mm-hmm.
and so they had Ed Helms there for Rutherford Falls, his new show on Peacock.
He looked tiny to me, very
Yeah.
thin. I was
And-
like, I thought he was bigger.
Craig Robinson was there for Killing It, also on Peacock.
Oh yeah, we
Yes.
were watching.
So
that.
they were there for the fun. This was the funny part. They were there for the funny AF panel. So talking about just sitcoms and stuff.
Yeah.
I had time to kill. Their names weren't listed on it. They had the other people that were in the panel there, but those
Oh,
two.
dang.
Maybe Ed Helms was on it, but there was a lot because, again, first year back from the pandemic, a lot of moving pieces.
Yeah.
And so I went to it. There, I turned around, and then there's Ed Helms walking down. I went,
What?
holy shit. Took a
Yeah.
picture. And then Craig Robinson came down. I was like, holy shit, he's stoned already. Took a picture. And the thing that everybody hates, because these panels, again, there's hundreds of people there. Everybody wants to ask a question. The two things people hate, and I'm sure it's the same at Comic-Cons, and if I have time, I'll go into why I hate Comic-Cons after. Things I hate is long, drawn-out personal stories. Like, oh my God, I've been a fan of you since I was 16. I wanted to be you when I grew up. And then just keep going on.
Right.
And then the self-indulging things, like, it's my birthday.
Mm.
Yeah.
So they came to me and I was like, okay, I got to do this different. So they hand me the microphone, and it's Craig Robinson. I'm gonna draw some blanks. Phil, who created, who was supposed to be on our podcast that just canceled. Creator of Grand Crew, who was really nice. Lisa Kochi, who was on Dance with Myself with Shakira. Craig Robinson, and I'm forgetting the very funny woman in the middle. I apologize if she's listening to this.
She's probably not.
Yeah. So I grab the microphone and I say, first off, just want to say thank you for coming to my birthday party. So I started with a joke because it's
Right.
Yeah.
being the self-indulging thing that people hate, but I try to do it different.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're like, oh, is it your birthday? And I was like, yeah. And so they sang they
That,
sang
yeah, we saw
happy
that.
birthday to me. And then they asked, if I actually had a question. I was like, yeah. And I tried to make it a joke, and it kind of backfired on me because some of the guys from The Office and Ed Helms, and Rainn Wilson specifically, like, it was a TV show. Like, it was a great experience, but
Yeah.
but move on. because I said I want to be like Asian Jim. I want to be.
Oh, yeah.
Again, going back to the representation. He was like,
Yeah.
well, the office is over, and I don't think that role will come
he
back.
took it seriously.
Yeah, and then they're telling me that I shouldn't be in Austin if I wanted to be, a comedian. I was like, well, I'm in Boise, which is much, much worse than
Yeah, exactly.
Austin has a bigger. Austin has a huge comedy thing. But I mean, in years past, I got to meet Fonzie. I got to interview Fonzie. And that's
did
one.
ya?
Wow.
I was. If you go to my Facebook, my face is like brightest face because my parents are older, so I grew up with Happy Days.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got to interview him in the cast of Royal Pains. I've got to interview the cast of Suits multiple times.
That's cool.
So I got to meet Meghan Markle. But that first year we went,
wow.
Wow.
that first year we went, she had so much security, and we're like, "What's the deal here?" And then it was, I want to say 3 days to a week later, it was announced that she was dating Prince Harry.
Right.
So it made perfect sense
Yes.
why
Yeah.
she had so much security. But she remembered my friend and my friend's hat and everything. So she came up and talked to us
Oh,
wow.
that's
multiple
cool.
times. So the festival is very fun. I will say
So do you stay on site or is it in a hotel?
there's multiple venues in Austin, and they do it really well. This year they changed the main venue. So the first 8 or 9 years, I think it was at the Stephen F. Austin Continental, beautiful hotel. Yes, this year they moved it to the more traditional Driscoll Hotel. Neither here or there. Then they have satellite venues as well. So they do it at the
Okay.
Paramount Theater as well, where comedians like Dave Attell and Jim Gaffigan go to. It's a huge theater.
Yeah.
When I got to meet Phil Rosenthal this year. If you haven't seen Somebody Feed Phil on Netflix, it's the best show.
I know the show, but I haven't watched it. Yeah.
Best show. But yeah, I mean, it's a very fun festival. I think I was just a little miffed because I've been pressed for them for years,
Yeah.
and I get it. It was also my birthday weekend, so it's kind of like, you try to keep those emotions away, but then you find out some of these press got it a day before,
Right.
when they're telling me they're going to keep me on the wait list, and I'm like, and then there's one celebrity who I forgot is not the nicest person, was not the nicest again. Pretty famous person. I won't name names because
Really?
I'll tell you off.
Wow.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
we would like
He's a
to
jerk.
know.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. But yeah, the cool thing about this festival, unlike Comic-Cons, you spend $300 or whatever for a ticket to Comic-Con, usually for just a day. It's like $1,000 for the weekend. And then you have to pay for autograph and photos.
Oh.
Like, I have all for it. If you want to spend $1,000 to meet Chris Evans or Thor, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. But then, you have the cast again of Boy Meets World who are at the ATX festival. You just go up and if they're free, you don't want to impose on them. But
Yeah.
most of them will take a photo with you or sign something
For free.
for
Yeah.
free.
Yeah.
You just pay the admission, which has gone up because of the economy. But like, some of the cast members that were there for the festival one year were at a different Comic-Con the next week, and I was seeing how much they were charging. I was like, y'all just need to go to ATX. It's a much more pleasant experience, and they don't smell because like Comic-Cons, it's people that don't leave their mom's basements until Comic-Con, and it's such a relaxed experience. There are people this last year that really ruined it though, because the cast of Scrubs, you're sitting in a hotel lobby, press room is here, and they know it.
Mhm.
There's only 2 ways into the hotel, so you're more than likely going to see a celebrity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And more than likely than not, they're going to rush to where they need to go. They're not going to stop. This group of people waited every single time for somebody came in and bombarded them to make them sign.
Oh,
Which-
great.
One of the rules is don't bombard them.
Right.
Yeah.
They're more likely to talk to you if
You're just normal.
right.
Don't freak
And that's why
them out.
Zach Braff, if you saw the photo with me and him, he was wearing his mask, he was wearing a hat. He didn't want people to. He just wanted to enjoy the experience, and people ruined it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I felt bad asking a photo, but again, it was my birthday, and I was like, oh.
I got it.
if Zach Braff is sitting there and I don't get a photo, I'm gonna feel.
Did you go by yourself?
Yeah. So usually every other year I go with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
This ended up with, again, everything going up in price. I went by myself, which
Mhm.
How was it? I mean, I feel like I don't do that much alone.
Austin's one of those cities usually where you can enjoy it by yourself. There's
Oh,
so
okay.
much to do. This year was weird because, again, I haven't gone in 4 years. I didn't. 2019, I didn't go. How much time do we got? We got time. We got
Yeah.
time.
Plenty of
Okay.
I would like another one of those
Um,
little ones.
Okay.
2019, Felissa Rashad was going to be the Lifetime Achievement
Oh,
winner.
Cool.
Cool, yes, but it was also in the same time of the Bill Cosby trial.
Oh, even cooler.
So
was it?
Yeah, I know Dum Dum here. If I would have got pressed that year, and again, I don't always get every interview I want. But had I seen Felissa
Oh my
Rashad,
God.
I would have walked up and said, "You knew, right? Like
right.
you had to have known." She was on 2 shows with Bill Cosby. She was
Right.
on the Cosby Show for 9 or 10 years, however it lasted, and then they did another show called Cosby in the late 90s for 4 years. She spent 12 years with the guy.
Right.
Either she was
She
the
had to have a
most
sense.
she had to know, or she was the most oblivious person. So I knew it, had I gone, I would have probably never been invited back. Which
right.
after the survey I did for them this year, I might not be invited back. Anyways.
Do you have to get invited, or no?
Well, for press,
For press, you do. Okay.
It's still the fun experience as a just going. But again, when you're press, you got to hobnosh with the you get a and they give you food.
Oh,
So that just
no.
saves
nice.
that saves so much money.
Fun.
And again, I know I'm not a big outlet. You know, they give Entertainment Weekly, TV
Yeah.
Guide, all these big publications. Obviously, press passes up the yin yang.
Yeah.
But their whole thing was to bring in smaller things
Yeah.
too. And not to toot my own horn, but I mean, if you go on YouTube and watch the interviews with the Royal Pains cast or read some of these interviews,
Or Saget. That's huge.
yeah, but they're like. They did say that mine was their favorite interview because
Oh,
it's
nice.
coming from a fan perspective. You
Right.
know?
Yeah.
I'm not there to sell magazines or
Right.
clicks. It's I want to know what it's like as a fan, what your experience is.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Have
Did you go up to any open mics when you were there?
So not open mics. I got booked for a guest spot at a show at
The Vulcan?
nope. It was oh my god. No, they're gonna come after me.
Oh, damn.
I have a photo of it. It was in Austin. It was beautiful.
Okay, a place in
It
Austin.
happened.
We're gonna can
Folks.
we do some what do they call
We'll
it
do
ADR
some-
after? And just go,
Yeah.
it was at
I'll just
the
drop it
Fairmont
in.
Theater.
Yeah. It'll be Chris's
yeah.
voice.
Yeah.
Stephanie, who was amazing, emailed me and let me do 10 minutes, and they
Oh,
loved
awesome.
it. It's funny though because I don't know. Did you ever guys have Casey Rocket on before he moved down to?
No,
We haven't had him
tried,
on,
and now
but-
he's all
'Cause that's where-
highfalutin. and
That's where
like-
he's at as a Vulcan.
Yeah.
I asked every comic and improv person at because they did a show before the one I was on. I asked 18 people if
get
they knew
you.
who Casey Rocket was. Not one did. So I'm starting to wonder if Casey Rocket is a real person or just a collective figment. But it's so
Amen.
crazy
Of all
because
of our imaginations.
Austin though, when I went to the last time I went to Austin in 2018, 2 of their comedy clubs had shut down, and this was pre-pandemic.
Mhm.
They just for some reason weren't doing well.
Well, Rogan
and
now.
and yeah, whether you love him or hate him, Rogan has
there.
brought in an influx.
Yeah.
One of the clubs reopened, and another one of the clubs is actually reopening as well. So the 2 clubs that shut down are both reopening. But there's so much comedy there. I'm sure people don't know who Casey Rocket is
Wow.
because there's just
Yeah.
so it's like in LA now. There's just
Yeah.
so much
Really?
comedy.
Wow.
What is the city like? Because we've never been. Is it?
It's-
Is it pretty cool? Or
It's like any other city that's that big. It's actually like the 5th biggest city in Texas though.
okay.
Mm.
San Antonio's bigger. I didn't realize that. 6th Street's amazing. The homeless problem, like anywhere else,
Pretty
is
intense.
getting bad.
Okay.
They're building now on I don't know directions. So if this is downtown, it's this side.
Okay.
Mhm.
Awesome.
But
That's the way I talk.
But I think because I think the sun's that way, I want to say it's the west, even though it looks like it's the whatever it is.
It's
They're-
usually the opposite
Yeah,
of what
yeah,
I think it
uh,
is.
and they're building a lot of new construction there, so the homeless
Okay.
population has moved more into downtown.
Okay.
Okay.
It used to be just one congregated area. It's bad. And then 6th Street's all the bars, which is really fun. I'm 33 now, so it's just like
Not as,
I'm too old.
yeah.
I'm too, especially being single. Like the one year my friend Easton, there's the shout out, came down. It was a blast.
yeah, you
Even I was
gotta have a-
30 at the time, but it's just weird. I don't care if you're the nicest dude in the world. It's weird when you're a single guy at a bar,
just hanging out.
just hanging out.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're George Clooney. It's weird. But a lot of the restaurants along 6th Street didn't survive the pandemic.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's hard to
Okay.
find food right when you're downtown. You have to go 6 blocks in any direction.
Did you rent a car? You
Nope.
just walked?
I
everywhere?
walked, and the first night, because I hadn't been in humidity in, again, 4 years,
Humidity.
Yeah.
it was
Brutal.
actually not as bad as it was. The last year I went was the most hot and most humid it had been that early in 50 years. And so this was pleasant. It was 90, 50% humidity or whatever.
Ugh.
But that first night, I felt like I was having a heat stroke. My heart rate was over 140 for most of
Oh,
the night.
geez.
I was just sitting there in this coffee shop,
Just
and I was like,
sitting.
I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
And I had a show in an hour because the first night was when I had the comedy show.
Yeah.
Like, this is
And
where I die.
Pretty much. love the LGBT coffee shop, and I'm sitting there looking at the drag queen making coffee, and I'm like, well, I guess there's worse places I could
There
die.
are way worse.
Finally got down to like 108, which is still high for me. And I was like, I got to walk to the comedy place.
Wow.
And then I got to the comedy place and I was listening to the show that's going on, just breathing, trying to relax. And it got down to my normal, which is, I'm a little high right now, but it's usually around in the 80s, 80 beats per minute.
Yeah.
But man, it was a rough first day. Man, I'm talking a lot. They had
Well, that's the point.
Yeah,
That's the point. Yeah.
years ago, I didn't see them this time. They had a company called Car2Go, which is they're in Portland and Seattle as well. It's these small little smart cars that you can rent for like $40 a day.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, I just lifted and Ubered everywhere because it was cheap.
Yeah.
But Austin's beautiful. The food is amazing.
Oh, okay.
If you ever go, I can tell you all the food places to go to. I'm not small. I eat a lot of food.
We aren't either.
Shopping's great. It's booming. Like I went south. I know for sure that direction's south. Oh no, so it must be east.
Because
I
you
don't
were going downhill.
Well, they told me
That's
it was
how
south.
you know. Oh.
Went to one of the J.C. Penney's. My boss is like, "Why do you go to our store when you're on vacation?" I'm like, I'm trying to get ideas.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because you work at JCPenney
Yeah.
right now,
Yeah.
right?
What do you do?
I don't know if I can say. I'm in management there.
Oh, nice.
You're in Boise?
Yep. At the
Oh,
mall.
okay, gotcha.
At the Boise Town Square Mall, open
Okay.
7 days a week.
Plug,
Shopping's
plug,
back. But when I was in Spokane, I went to the two there and got some information too and some strategies. And the
Yeah.
day I came back was the mall shooting, so that was fun.
oh, wow.
Oh, fun.
But Austin has tons of shopping. You would love it. Like knowing what you two
Or
like to do.
It seems like
Yeah.
a cool place.
you would go down a road and you would see. I mean, the stars. It's crazy. Even
yeah.
because they film that new Walker Texas Ranger there,
Mhm.
and Austin is where they filmed Friday Night Lights for years. So
Oh,
Austin
cool.
does have a lot of entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
you'll probably just see somebody you know. I was down on 6th Street that first or second night. I'm going to the nightclubs just because I wanted to see it again. And I walked by somebody, and we both look at each other, and I'm like, nah. And I left, opened up an Instagram before I thought it was, and I was like, oh yeah, no, she's in Austin. So I came back, and it was Dana Marie Nichols, who's a reporter now in San Diego, but she was up at Creme 2 News in
What?
Spokane with me. And I walked up and I tapped her on the shoulder, and she goes, okay, it was you. 'Cause we had both looked at each other, and she was there
Oh,
for
that's
a
cool.
bachelorette party. And then even weirder, my producer from the old studio, Travis, was down there for a bachelor party.
Oh, really?
So I saw him at the Austin airport. He sat right behind me on the flight back.
Oh, wow. That's
So, I mean,
funny.
you will see people you know in Austin.
Oh,
It's,
wow.
So
How much are flights to Austin? We're talking $500 or?
it depends on the time of year
Yeah.
and depends on the airline. So I went because I don't like layovers. I'm one of those people. Every time I have a
What?
layover, either I lose my luggage or it's delayed. So this time I went the cheapest
They have a straight shot?
through Alaska Airlines.
Okay.
It was like $490 round
That's
trip,
what I would assume.
which wasn't
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah.
I know we
Yeah.
talked to Avelo Airlines. I
Yeah.
know since we talked to them, the economy's gotten worse.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So I feel for them. They
Yeah.
did talk about adding an Austin route.
Yeah.
But I mean, man, for the prices that they do, it's tough. They've had it gone up a little bit. So
Right.
Yeah.
I know Southwest goes there, but I think you'd go from like here to Seattle to Austin or
Right.
here to Salt Lake.
That's
Mhm.
what kills you.
Delta
Yeah.
has one, but they were like $600, and you
Okay.
had like an 8-hour layover somewhere.
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
do those
jeez.
well.
You could drive though. I mean, I know gas is going down,
Gas
folks.
is only what?
$5.21 now.
Right.
Yeah, that's a
Um,
bargain.
Because you could go through Colorado, though. Denver's beautiful. I don't know if you've been to Denver before.
No.
Not since I was a kid.
So you could go through Denver and then go south. I mean, you can make it a trip.
Yeah, I'd
You
love
could
to
do-
go down and do a Kill Tony at the Vulcan.
So you would see Hans Kim.
Yeah.
Hello Hans Kim.
Yeah.
Did you
but-
meet him?
Well, I met him in Seattle because he's from Seattle.
Oh, that's
Ah.
cool.
I met him
okay.
years ago
Prior
before.
to him.
Mhm.
He's opening for Rogan now.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
yeah.
Which I will just say, don't at me, Joe Rogan.
No, it'd be super cool if he did, right?
But
Yeah.
like Tony Hinchcliffe had that whole controversy
I
with
know.
the,
Yeah.
and now
And then-
Hans and him are like best friends. I'm
exactly.
like, so like,
there was a
yeah,
that did happen.
yeah. So
in that time.
Mhm.
I'm still not the biggest Tony Hinchcliffe. Don't at me, folks. Don't at me.
Oh, so that hit you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know too many people that were on Tony's side after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I get people that are like, "Oh, it's shock comedy," but like Don Rickles was shock comedy, but he wasn't like that offensive.
Yeah.
I mean,
It
Don-
was pretty abrasive when
Yeah, what he did.
It was like
yeah,
Well, when we watched it, I was like, "Oh my god,
Yeah.
what just happened?" Yeah,
And like Don Rickles, though, Don Rickles made fun of President Reagan, but it was funny. Like the way he did it
Right.
was different.
Yeah.
It wasn't the most demeaning.
yeah.
Like
The way
some of
Tony
these.
did it was pretty
Mhm.
stabbing.
Yeah.
Feelings.
So,
That's what it seemed
yeah.
like.
But yeah, Austin's beautiful. You could do a
Okay.
Toasted Marshmallow on the road, do a whole road trip
I
podcast
know,
from here to
yeah.
Denver. To
Yeah.
Boise. So there we go.
So,
Oh,
are you
yeah.
going? Is this yearly? And will
It's
you go?
every June.
every June.
I
Are
kind
you-
of made this feel like the last time I was going.
Oh, really? Just
Because
because
of-
you
I've
just
done it.
felt- Yeah.
If there's a panel that I really want to see,
Mhm.
I might.
Yeah.
But I need Patreon subscribers, so it's patreon.com.
Yes.
Jared Munson.
Hit him
Get
up.
But it's a fun
How
festival.
much is your Patreon?
Anywhere from I think $5 to $25.
Do we need to shout out any of your
Yeah, let's do it.
Patreon?
I mean, Jen Adams has done it from day one.
Whoa,
yes,
So
I
she's-
know. I've
nice.
heard about that. Yes.
And then Garrett, one of my
Awesome,
friends in
Jen.
Alexandria. So when I have like Casey Rock has like 50 people subscribed to his Patreon, and I can go wah, wah, that's just as fast as he can. So like,
Right.
subscribe
Right.
to Patreon.
And can you do the crab walk?
Yeah. Just, hey, mommy.
There you go. Sign up, folks.
yeah.
I have a video coming out soon. It's my first video that I've done, so my editing is a little rusty. I had Flixbox. Oh, wow. We'll ADR this part too. A new movie subscription box. They send me like theater
oh,
candy.
yeah, I saw you.
Yeah,
You were doing that.
So I'm still editing that video. So there'll be exclusive stuff on the Patreon. I'll do Casey Rocket impressions if that's what it takes. I'll do
Will you get in the grimace suit?
yes, I will do impressions of any comic you want to see if you subscribe to my Patreon. Wah, wah.
Who are your comedy influences?
It's gonna sound really weird. It's gonna sound really, really weird. Knowing me and my political views, Ron White was the reason I got into comedy.
Ron White.
Love Ron.
And it was more from I think he is hilarious, but it's more for his business savvy. If you watch Ron White in the 80s and Ron White now, it's the same Ron White. Even if you watch Ron White in 2001, he wasn't really a blue collar comic. If you look at compared to the other three,
Right.
Yeah.
he became friends with, I think it was Bill Engvall. I don't think it was Jeff. I think he became friends with Bill and saw the opportunity, latched to it,
Mm-hmm.
did the 3 movies. Those guys still did the TV show and all that other stuff, but he was like, I'm good.
out.
I'm good.
Yeah.
And it's just so smart business wise.
Right.
Again,
Yeah.
look at Hans Kim looking at an opportunity.
Mhm.
I think you got to go for it.
Yeah, I mean, if if somebody talked to me about doing something, would I sell my soul to make some? Yeah,
Yeah, I always thought Ron White was the funniest out of the
Oh,
4 of them.
for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
although Jeff Foxworthy's new special is pretty good.
is it
Oh, yeah.
really? Oh,
We haven't
okay, I
seen
haven't
it.
seen
What's
Is
it on?
I think it's on Netflix.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's why
That's
we
the-
haven't seen
That's
it.
the one we got
We did
rid
the
of
whole-
recently.
Oh, so that's
Get
why
rid of Netflix to get Peacock.
that's
we're
why you
trying-
haven't seen Somebody Feed Phil. Then that's
Yeah.
on Netflix.
Yes.
Yep.
If you like, because again, it's the PBS version of Somebody Feed Phil is on Tubi. No,
Hmm.
Pluto.
Pluto.
Okay.
There's too many of these free ones.
Yeah.
I know.
But he travels the world and does a lot of food stuff, and
Okay.
you would love it. He has
Oh,
Anthony
okay.
Bourdain's producers.
Okay.
Oh,
I've
so-
told like 10 of my friends to watch either version, and it's like their favorite show now.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
nice.
We'll check it out
Nice.
for sure.
Just
Yeah.
try. I'm sure you make a fake email. I think Netflix still gives 7-day free trials or something.
yeah.
No, we need to just get into a password trading type
Well,
of
Brittany-
underground.
Brittany
Oh,
Haha
Brittany
was like, she'll
Hargis,
just
yeah.
put it in our show notes.
Yeah.
Passwords.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's- yeah, because they're like, oh, we don't have Netflix right now.
We
You're
got to
like,
trade
what?
her like a Discovery Plus for a Netflix
Yeah.
password.
Which I have Discovery Plus. I haven't found. I'm not a huge reality guy.
Mm.
Yeah, we are trashy reality
Oh.
people at times.
Hey, I will be no Nick, whatever his name is from.
oh,
I know about him just because
you love that guy.
Who?
The no neck guy.
Oh, what
what
the?
is his name?
Ed, Big Ed.
Ed,
Yeah.
Yes.
Ed.
I saw a picture and I was like, I gotta look to see where he's from.
Yeah.
He's so awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just watched
very
one because I had
uncomfortable.
it, and he's just like, "Can
He's
I give
very-
you a kiss?" And she's
very-
like, "Not this time."
Yeah.
I know, Ed.
Yes.
It's kind of sad because if you look at photos of him from like 20 years ago, he had a neck.
And did he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was like
yeah.
a bodybuilder.
Oh, really?
He was like a bodybuilder in his previous life.
Yeah, I know his like new after he cut the long hair, kind of got
The
the
hair
spiky
was
thing. Looks way better.
Way
I think he
better.
grew a little short beard.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
that'd
looks
be
a
nice.
million
Bad for-
times better
you
than
can't?
I
when he-
can't grow. This is 4 weeks. It's bad.
Oh,
Chris can only not grow hair on the top of his head. Everywhere
That's
else
true.
has
Yes.
hair.
Discovery Plus, though, I mean, I'm a huge Food Network fan. So, like,
Oh,
Guy
okay.
Fieri and I,
Yeah.
I emailed his producers a few months ago,
Mhm.
and they said this is a good reminder because they told me to email them back this summer. For
So
Guy
do you
Fieri.
just take chances? It
Yeah.
sounds
Oh,
like
yeah.
you do. You
Mhm.
just go for it. Like,
If you
I'm
don't-
interested in this.
And there's some political correctness. There's some Boise comics that don't realize you got to shoot your shot, or you're. It's
Just
like the Wayne
take a
Gretzky quote.
chance.
Like Michael Scott, Wayne Gretzky quote. You'll miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Right.
Mhm.
That's how I got when I was 17, 18. I got to open for Melissa Villasenor from Saturday Night Live.
Wow.
She was on America's Got Talent years ago. I went to because she came to Eastern. They knew me. I went in my first month at Eastern Washington University. I was like, hey, doing the dumb thing that even 30-year-olds do. I'm a comic. Book me. And they're like, do you have videos? And I was like, nope. I'll get you some though. So I started going to open mics at 18. 3 months at Eastern, I opened for Buzz Sutherland. He's the 16-time College Comedian of the Year. Got opened for Dan Cummins, who's been on Comedy
Oh,
Central.
wow, yeah.
Melissa Villasenor. And all these people just, you got to take
Just
your chances.
by going for it.
But I cold email everybody. I mean, I got Bob Saget from Twitter.
Wow.
Yeah.
Twitter is an amazing thing, and I wish I still had it.
Okay, why don't you have Twitter?
They said I spammed too many times in 24 hours. And it's one of those things like President Trump got like 8 warnings before they fully banned him. I spammed, which I don't even think I did, one too many times.
What does that even mean?
I shared my Patreon, I think, 3 times in a day,
Oh,
and they called it spam.
huh.
And
And then you're out for good?
I'm permanently banned.
What?
Wow.
I put an
not
appeal
even-
in, and they will not reply to it.
Wow.
I had
Mm.
Gordon Ramsay follow me, American Idol follow me, The Tonight Show follow me,
Oh my God,
Entertainment
that's
Tonight
cool.
follow me. I could rebuild it, but like you'll never get them back.
Yeah.
I luckily got them
Yeah.
because there's algorithms and they follow certain people.
Mhm.
Like Gordon Ramsay didn't follow me because he knows me. He followed me
Right.
because I'm fat and I like food. It's part of the algorithm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've lost 20 pounds since then. He's not going to follow me if I create a new Twitter.
Yeah.
You're going to have to gain 20 pounds,
I know.
dude.
Get more diabetes. But it's kind of sad. My friend Kat Davis passed away. She had scleroderma, and I knew her and Bob met.
Oh.
So I literally just sent him a tweet that said, "Hey, do you want to talk about Kat and your foundation on my podcast?" And he said yes. So we set it up.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you got to take your shot.
Just take a chance.
And people don't know if it's still real or not, but that's what Nico and Nate Fort did for Bill Burr this fall.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're waiting.
We're waiting
we
to
have
see
tickets.
if it's. We're
We
waiting
have
to see if it's
tickets,
real.
yeah.
Let's,
We can't wait to
let's see
see.
if it's real.
Oh,
Yes.
I can't wait.
Oh,
I
we're
hope
seeing
so.
Tom Segura next week too at the what's it?
Morrison.
No, the
Idaho.
ice rink. Whatever it's
Yeah,
called.
Oh.
it used to be CenturyLink. Now it's Idaho Central Arena. I think
Oh yeah,
downtown.
Yep.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, it'll be awesome.
But I mean, I sent back when I had the drive 50, 100 emails to comedy clubs when I was
Okay.
18, 19, and for every 500 no's, you got a yes. I mean, I got.
And so, how do you take those no's? Do you just
I
blow
think-
them off?
Yeah, because I knew
They don't hurt.
Now they do.
Yeah, I feel like no's hurt for us as well. We're like, oh,
I now because I as a comic, I know I'm never going to be headliner. I talk too fast. I don't have the drive anymore. I'm a good feature. I can do a solid 20 to 25, 5 out of 7
so you don't
times.
have the drive to be the headliner. Oh, okay.
I like to be the Oreo filling in the middle.
Okay.
It's just also too much pressure.
yeah.
It's too much pressure. I've headlined a dozen times. I can do it. I've done it. I did it in
Mhm.
Montana in February. I don't like it.
Oh, okay.
You feel much more pressure because you're the name.
The guy.
yeah.
If you're
Yeah.
the Oreo in the middle, you're like, I got this. It's
Right.
20 minutes of fun. But now knowing that I'm a decent feature, that I don't book myself. The reason you don't see me much is I'd rather have Marina Wool or Natasha or any of these Boise comics get stage time that really want to do this full time.
Right.
Mhm.
The drive you have to do comedy full time.
It's huge.
Like
right?
Nico has it great. He travels for work.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The amount of stage time that guy can get,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
perfect. I mean, one of my other friends in Spokane quit his 6-figure paying job to do comedy full time. And he makes like 30, 40,000 a year doing it now, but he sleeps in his car 5 nights a week.
Whoa.
No, thank you. I need a
Yeah.
bed.
You're right.
Yeah.
And you're in Boise. Like you're in a spot where you have no city within 6 hours of you.
Right.
That's major. You have Salt Lake 6 hours away, Spokane 5 hours away,
Yeah.
Seattle 6.5,
Yeah.
7 hours away. To really make it Like you can be the biggest dog in Boise, but you would still be the fresh
Smallest.
meat in LA.
Yep.
Mhm.
Or
for
Chicago.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's as great as some of these Boise comics are. If they really want us to make it, they're going to have to move. They're
Yeah.
going to have to.
Mhm.
I mean, they'll tell you even in Seattle, as great as Seattle is, being big and having multiple venues, you got to go to LA.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
We had a guy in Spokane who moved to LA. Now he's at the Comedy Store
Oh, awesome.
every week. Michael
Wow.
Evans. I don't say every week, but
Yeah.
he's making it down there. He
Oh,
took that. He
awesome.
Have
knew.
you ever thought of doing that?
No,
No.
No.
I'm.
Is it family related?
I mean, yeah, I moved here to be closer to family, but
Yeah.
again, at 33, I don't have the drive.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So
And-
why
and
are you doing it now? Is it?
when I'm poor?
But you're producing your own shows,
Yeah.
though, right?
So that's the fun
How
part.
did that happen?
So about 8 years into comedy, I realized like comedy is just becoming a job that
Mhm.
didn't pay shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like you'd make $50 here or there. Sorry, I dropped the S bomb.
That's okay.
No.
This is a family show.
No, it's not.
No, it is not.
And which is weird. Also, you guys don't have casinos down here, which is weird.
Right.
Super weird.
Yeah.
Coming from Seattle and Spokane, casinos everywhere.
Mhm.
So I went to Northern Quest Casino 8-9 years into comedy, and I was like, "Hey, there's a room here. It's called the Impulse Night Lounge." And I was like, "You're not using it." Like, no, it costs us $1,000, which makes sense to turn the lights on and pay our staff.
Mhm.
Nothing's worked here. I was like, "Can I try doing comedy?" They're like, "How much money do you need?" I was like, and 4 comics, huge comics in Spokane, were like, "You're doing a horrible deal." I was like, "Watch me."
Hmm.
We got 100% of the door. They got 100% of the bar. That was
Wow.
no risk to them because we
Right.
knew people go to comedy to drink.
Yeah.
I knew, knowing myself, I could fill the room. And I did.
Mhm.
First show there, standing room, we had 150 people in.
Awesome.
Winter came, numbers dropped to 40, 50, 60, but everybody was still making a profit. We got done with the first year. They were looking at doing the second. And then the casino decided to turn that room into a tap house.
Oh.
They would have renewed our contract had they not done that. So
Mhm.
I liked booking more. You make more money booking.
Mhm.
Again, at that time, I was burnt out. I mean, I don't write as much as some of these comics. I
Mhm.
write
But you recently did 2 shows, right? The Drink and Debate
At
and the
Watson's,
one.
yeah.
formerly known as the Drinking Debate. That's a whole nother story. It's coming in
Oh.
September.
Formerly known.
Coming in
Ah.
September.
What's it been, 2 weeks?
Coming in September, it'll be relaunched as the Funny Feud.
The
Oh,
funny feud. Okay.
I'll tell you that story off.
So,
this
and
channel.
what was the one
The night before,
Freaky
yeah.
Friday.
Okay, yeah.
So
That's coming back.
Were they both a success? Or?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
According to Watson's, they were a success and they wanted to do them
Great.
again.
Oh,
Great.
cool.
So how do you get into that? You just approach Watson's and say, "Hey."
Yeah, this is the thing. There are comics everywhere, not just Boise,
Mhm.
that cart before horse.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think first, second, third year comics should be booking rooms.
Right.
Because they see a format, they think it works, but there's so much more to booking. There's been some venues in Boise that haven't been successful, personally, I believe, because of the people running them. I would say this to their face, and I've done it, and they don't like me for it, but I come from a business background. Like, it's one of those things, if you're not in the business long enough, you don't know what you're doing. You
Right.
see a format that's hard to execute the same format
Mm-hmm.
unless you've been into it. Same with podcasts, I'm assuming.
Mhm.
You can say all day long, this looks easy,
Yeah.
but until you actually produce one, edit one.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit in the background.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, even hosting, I'm sure there's some times where you're like,
Yeah.
am I good enough for this?
Oh, yeah.
It's
all the
this.
time.
It's the same thing with running a comedy show. There's great producers in Boise. There's horrible. I mean, you're gonna get that anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't do it till I was 8 years in. I didn't produce my own shows until I knew I could put something together. And they've mostly been showcases.
And what does that entail, though? You contact all the talent.
Mhm.
You figure out the
Pay,
Oh, okay.
time.
Mhm.
So once I was done with the casino, I moved to a place called.
We'll drop that in.
Yep.
Chris will say
This is
Yeah.
the Bartlett. Sorry, there we go. The Bartlett.
we
Right,
go.
it was right next to the bar I worked at. I'm like,
Bartlett.
the Bartlett. It's no longer there, unfortunately. They've opened another place. Lucky You Lounge in Spokane. Visit it. Did my first sold out show there too. Did a showcase, brought in standing room only people. And then I had bombs in there too. It's one of those things, you admit your mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that a lot of bookers don't realize is you need your talent to promote your shows too.
Right.
If they don't promote it, like you can only do so much, and the venue there's comics that believe it should be solely on the venue. It's not.
Mm-mm.
They're there to make money. They're there to do and house it, but like you got to promote. You're the one with the audience.
Yeah. Exactly.
So a few of those Bartlett shows bombed because the talent did not promote it one bit.
Right.
Mm.
That's why we love this group. Everybody posts stuff.
Mhm.
We
Jake-
try and share it. We try and like every single
You guys are
great with
dang
that.
thing that we see. We're like, oh, they have a show. Like
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
At least keep it going in the algorithm.
Yeah.
And Jake Martin's amazing. at
Oh,
doing it.
Jake is
God.
amazing.
Doesn't have.
Yes.
He might not even be on the show, and he'll promote it.
Oh, he doesn't
Yeah.
care. He's awesome at
Frid-
that.
Fridge Friends podcast, wherever
Yes,
podcasts
exactly.
are available.
Oh
Listen.
yeah.
Um,
Let's do it. But
but-
also check out Toasted Marshmallow Adventures podcast.
We're on this podcast. Of course, we're gonna. They're listening.
Yes. No, I listen to actually
Yeah, we do.
Fridge Friends every
Yeah,
week.
weekly.
Yeah. So
Yep.
that's a great podcast.
But to answer your question, yeah, and then it's trying to like, especially with Watsons now, they want me to do more with them. So I don't know how much I can say. We have ideas in the works
Oh,
that I think
great.
are really exciting. Because
But then you had to trust that every person you spoke to, was
Yeah.
gonna show. And I got sick.
so that
So
Yeah.
last second, you must have messaged Greg Cisco.
I did. So
yeah.
the formerly known as D&D was probably the most stressful
Was it?
show I've ever booked. Mainly
Wow.
because it was supposed to be this weekend. It was supposed to be this
Okay.
weekend originally.
Oh really?
Or last weekend. Last weekend originally. And whenever this airs, it was a couple weeks
Yeah,
ago.
Yeah.
And then Nick Roberts, who's one of the bookers at Watch,
Yeah.
was like, "Hey, we've double booked you with the teacher show."
Oh.
And he was like, "Can we move it to the second?" I'm just thinking, sure, why not? It's a Saturday, we can do it. Forgot it was 4th of July weekend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All these comics that wanted to do it were like, can't do it now.
Oh.
I
dang.
didn't have a fourth team until noon of the day of the show,
Oh wow.
which is something I never. I need my talent at least
Nerve wracking.
3 days before to make sure
Yeah.
everything's set.
Yeah.
And day of, one of the comedians, Katie Lotz, got sick again. As I mean, it's COVID's back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be here forever. We just got to adjust
Oh
to it.
yeah.
She got sick, or I don't think it was COVID. She said she was just feeling sick. It could have been COVID. I don't know. Katie, was it COVID? She calling in? So I had to replace her. I had Reese Samuels was amazing putting a team together like the day before.
Wow.
Yeah.
You got sick, Wendy, and
Yeah.
then so I messaged Greg Cisco, and it was because I messaged like 8 people, and it's one of those things I try not to message too many because then if they all say yes, then
Then
I
you're in
don't
trouble.
have enough
Right.
spaces.
Yeah.
Because I told Greg, I was like, hey, can you either perform because I needed somebody for Katie, or judge because I needed somebody for you.
Yeah.
And then I've never met Chris Sharma in person.
Mm.
And I messaged him out because he told me he was available since their strip down show was later that night.
Yeah.
And I saw Chris was online, active on Facebook, and I was like, I just gotta
Right now.
Yeah.
I gotta harass him. So I sent him like 4 more messages, and he was gracious enough to step in.
Oh, awesome.
But that night it turned into a thing too, because like I told people like you and Reese, because they helped me out so much. I was like, I'll pay for your drinks, whatever.
Yeah.
And then some comics came to me like, well, I heard some people get drinks.
Oh.
Oh.
And they're like, do I get a drink? And I was
I
like,
didn't know that
and I was-
wasn't for everybody.
and I was just like, yeah, sure. My tab was like $90 that night. It was fine.
Oh, okay. Because I think I told you about it
You
maybe a
did.
day later. I was like, I think Jared was covering everyone's drinks and
No.
food.
You said that.
No.
Okay. That
Because
wasn't.
like I didn't order
Oh, so
food.
it was your fault. You told the comics.
No,
Okay.
I didn't order any food.
No,
I
it's
only
fine,
ordered
but- yeah,
like
so-
4 drinks.
4 drinks.
I thought it was a great show. It's hard
Yeah.
too being on stage watching because you can't hear everything.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, are they laughing? Are they enjoying it? And I knew being the first one, there'd be some kinks.
Yeah.
Were
But-
there?
I think there's a couple.
Yeah. I think at the beginning of the show, like
didn't-
after the first round, I was speaking to you and kind of actually trying to give like a real review
Yeah.
of how they went. And then second and third round, I was like, no, I think I'm bringing this show down. I just need to give
Like-
them like little funny quips about each thing. And then it went way better. And I needed to talk to the audience and not Jared.
Right.
And I think Greg Cisco stole the show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He was awesome. Yeah.
Because he told me after, he goes, I can't do Greg Cisco. How do we do Greg Cisco voice? I thought I was just going to come down and write down some numbers. And then he told me, I was like, no, it's interactive. But
Yeah.
my friends came in. It was the best compliment ever. My friend was like, my friend's boyfriend, he goes, you remind me a lot of Ryan Seacrest. And I was like,
What? Awesome.
Oh, nice.
I think it's because of all those long pauses that I did.
Yeah.
But that's, I mean, if I could be any kind of host and as rich as, I mean, Ryan Seacrest is.
Oh, yeah.
If I could have
definitely,
1/10 of Ryan Seacrest's
You'd
money,
be
I could
fine.
retire today.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But booking is kind of where my heart is now.
Oh, okay.
It's more fun because I like to see shows. It's fun until the hour before when nobody's sitting in the audience,
right.
Mm.
and you're like,
panicking.
are they gonna show up?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because with formerly D&D, like we had 14 people in the audience 5 minutes before the show started, and I was like,
Wow.
oh my god, this is gonna bomb.
Yeah.
And then right when we started, like 30 more all of a sudden
Amazing.
showed up. And I was like, okay, we're good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
People, if you have tickets to a show, come early, especially at a place
Yes.
that serves food.
Stop panicking
yeah.
the person.
yeah.
Like,
The
come-
booker.
It's only a Boise thing. Like in Spokane,
I do believe you're right.
in Spokane, like they'll be close-ish, but they'll be there 15 minutes before.
Right.
You'll always have stragglers, but
Yeah.
like 80% of them are there at least 15 minutes before.
Mm.
I don't know what it is, Boise. I know it's beautiful out.
I
Finish
don't
your
know why we do that.
go hiking earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Yeah, that show was awesome. Yeah, Greg Sisko was amazing. He was after each round. Yeah, I mean, he had like a few minutes, almost like a set he
I
was
know.
doing.
I was trying to
after
time
each
him, but I was just
round,
like,
and yeah,
he just kept
Drowned?
going.
huh?
He drowned?
No, I said after each round.
Oh.
And
He
then
almost
he
had like a
drowned.
set.
We
Yeah.
waterboarded him.
Yeah,
I was wondering,
Yeah.
like, I'm
That was
glad
the
I didn't
drink.
know.
Yeah.
Waterboard.
And then after the last round, he actually got up on. It's like I'm going to stand up for this when he got up on stage, and yeah, I mean he was hilarious actually, and had
Wow.
I mean, he just almost did like a set
Mhm.
about what just happened on the spot, and so
The
That's
day before
impressive.
for Freaky Friday, though. So for those that don't know, it's 5 comics doing a 5-minute set.
Oh, and then they switched.
And yeah, so I randomized it. Oh, we're on video. I randomized it. I didn't do air quotes. I randomized it. So Greg Sisko had to do Crystal Moore's, and Crystal Moore came in bloodstained shorts because it was right after that Supreme Court
yeah.
thing. So it was hilarious. So Greg Sisko just talked about how it sounds so different talking about abortion rights as a male.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
he literally won that night too. So
Oh,
it was
nice.
hilarious.
Awesome.
So
And
it's-
you both will be back in some form?
Yep. So Freaky Friday, we're gonna try to make a quarterly thing.
mhm.
Cool.
I think it kind of keeps it the grandeur of
fresh.
Mhm.
it. Funny Feud will hopefully be a monthly thing. So that's
That's a-
what it
that's
is
a
in
good
other
name.
cities.
Mhm.
Because we want it fresh in their minds.
Mhm.
And again, you have so many topics that it's funny every month,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you want to see if this team, because the winning team comes back. You want to see how many times they can
Yes.
win.
And
Yeah.
the concepts or the ideas were from the audience? Is that true?
Supposedly,
Oh, okay.
they're supposed to be. So once we build enough, when that is around long enough,
Yeah.
it'll all be audience suggestions. I've been pulling from that show that I did in Spoke.
Right.
The reason I have to rename it, and from the internet.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Yeah, that was
Glad
a
it was
really
a
fun
success.
show.
Mhm, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I love Watson's. I love the lounge. Jen has an amazing thing going here, but
It's important for us to keep these
Mhm.
places going.
Yes. Oh, actually, we're in the works right
For a
now
game
of
show.
having a game show
Yeah.
here at the lounge. Yeah, being the host of a game
that's
show.
exciting.
Yeah.
that's also kind of similar to what we might be doing at Watson's.
Oh, really? Okay.
One of the things I don't know if I could talk about. And I
Right.
love Jen because Jen is supportive of everybody else.
Of
though,
course.
too.
Yeah.
She knows
Yeah.
that we need other venues
She
in town.
knows.
And I love that Watson's has given me the room to grow there because they've
Yeah.
been looking for things. Jen keeps doing great things with Sarah with the Strip Down show.
Yeah.
I mean, she brings in premier talent. I mean, we've got three really strong
Sheesh.
Doesn't
venues
move that way.
in Boise with the Lounge, Watson's, and Mad
Matt
Swede.
Sweeney,
Yeah.
I mean, even though we don't have our own comedy club anymore, we have 3 venues that thrive with
Mhm.
comedy.
Oh, yeah.
And
exactly.
there's other places that are in town doing comedy too. I think Nico just started
At the Loose Screw or
in
Loose
Meridian,
Yeah.
whatever it's called, yeah.
It's got the Twisted District,
Which is coming back in the
one.
fall. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That one just
Yeah.
paused, and then the
East Side's-
Edge is doing
Edges are
something.
the Sundays, yeah.
East Side's
that's
coming
just for
back,
open mic,
yeah.
And there's some more things that I'm working on with Watson's that maybe added in another
Oh, cool.
location for late summer, early fall.
Oh, awesome.
So I mean, I
Cool.
think
Yeah.
Boise can handle more. It's weird. What I always say in Spokane is, you had a lot of venues in Spokane that would try comedy, and the
Mhm.
audiences didn't show up.
Oh,
Like the
really?
businesses wanted it, and they would support it. Here, I feel it's the opposite. I feel like the audience wants it, but there's a lot of businesses, especially since the pandemic, so I get it, that don't want to take that risk.
Right.
Yeah.
Because with music, no matter what music people will listen to,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and this is like metal sometimes, but like, music is good. If they're on key, off key.
Right.
Comedy is so subjective, it's a risk.
Yeah.
I get it. It's a risk for businesses. They might not have the audio equipment to set it up and all and everything else. But the audiences show up in Boise 9 times out of 10.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I also have noticed in Boise that they don't show up for shit unless it's like a big
thing.
event.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot. Also, well, we've talked to Jen and she said like women and
Black people.
minority
Yeah.
performers
Struggle.
struggle for ticket
Just
sales.
terrible.
Well, Jen Adams booked me, and we'll see how this minority does.
Heck yeah. Heck
when are
yeah.
when are you here?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay, you've been here in the past.
I've been here in the past. Jen likes to give other people time to shine,
Yeah.
so I don't want to bug her too much because, again,
Yeah.
I really you'll see me a lot when I'm poor. So in April, poor. I was on like 8 shows in April, very poor. And then the one I'm by the time this airs, well, we're live now. So tomorrow I have a show
Yeah.
at Watson's for the Crystals,
Bunch of laughs, right?
which she
Yeah.
booked that back in April. So I was poor then.
You're like,
okay.
yes.
You're like, yes, I'm
Uh,
doing
Is that
all the shows.
taxes paying?
What?
Poor? You're poor in April?
Yeah,
Paying
exactly,
taxes,
exactly.
yeah.
Good thing there's no casinos here because I'd be poor. But yeah, no, you'll know when I need some money because you'll see me here, you'll see me at Watson's, you'll see me at Matt's
okay.
Suite.
We see Jared on a lot of shows
You know
because he
he's
needs
poor.
money. Yes.
Can he go away?
What's his Venmo?
It's at Jared Munson.
At Jared
Nice.
Munson. There you go. Jeez. All right. It's awesome. Okay, let's get to here real quick. Unless you have anything more to say about that, we're going to get to our pod decks
All right.
Real
questions
quick.
here. This is one I picked all these myself. These questions.
God.
We have like 5 decks of
Okay.
pod decks cards. This one here, and I think we all should answer it. What 3 things would you leave in a time capsule for people to open in 50 years?
I would put in a USB drive with the Gangnam Style music video.
Okay.
When that came out, and even now to this day, I did it a lot at the bar I worked at in Spokane. I mean, I look like Psy. Like, I feel like I could be Psy's. If he wasn't only, like, I think 9 years older than me, I feel like he could be my father. Like, people think I'm him a lot. I'd probably put in... is this a time capsule about myself or just a time capsule in general?
Just a time capsule in general.
I put I put the newspaper from January 7th in there. About the day before.
2021.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Because,
Okay.
I mean, that's a day, I don't care what side of the aisle you're on, that's a day that, I mean,
Crazy.
what's
Yeah.
weird is my coworkers at Best Buy knew about it was going to happen beforehand.
What?
The whole thing was planned out. I've been watching the hearings, and it's crazy. We won't get in,
Well,
to
I haven't been
political
watching
shit,
the hearings.
but yeah, I've been
Yeah.
watching the hearings, and
So-
the shit was planned out.
So that's, I mean, that's, you think about it, 50 years, stuff like that. I mean, people that, I was in 7th grade on 9/11, and I remember that day like it was yesterday.
7th grade and 9/11. Weird.
You see that's weird for you.
Yeah.
So again, I'm a manager at Penny's. We're hiring 16-year-olds that were not.
That's weird.
They're not
too.
born. They're not born.
Really
When I
weird.
was working for the Spokane Indians, the minor league baseball team, there's people that were 2, at 9/11. Now they're not even born.
Wow.
So that
Jeez.
makes me feel old.
Yeah. It's
But-
a trip.
I'd put that in newspaper because I feel like that's a dark day in history that
Yeah.
people
Mhm.
need to be reminded what can happen if things aren't done. And then 3 things.
Yes. What's your third?
Probably,
God, I don't even know.
yeah, I don't know. The third one would probably be my well, because it's not about me. It was my own personal like
It could be.
a time capsule about me would be my first headlining show poster from Seattle.
Oh, I think that'd be cool.
Yeah. Definitely.
We're gonna make this a time
Awesome.
capsule about me. Who wants to open a Jared
I
Munson
think.
time
I mean, I
capsule,
think
but-
my time
Everybody.
capsule will be all about me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd put in something toasted marshmallowy, I'd put in probably something for my grandma that maybe was 100 years old,
Ooh,
just because that's cool.
Mhm.
I've got her birth certificate thing, her little card. That'd be cool.
that would be
Yeah.
And then maybe something weird that happened in my lifetime similarly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
Would you
I
put an
think
actual marshmallow in?
that'd be awesome.
It's like a Twinkie. I don't think they ever
yeah.
Yeah,
like,
they
maybe
don't-
just
eat it in
shrivel
50
up.
years.
a
and-
little bit. Yeah.
Like if this is
It's
hard, add
someone
water.
Yeah,
do that.
exactly.
You ever watch Super Size Me? That
Chris
documentary?
has.
I've seen some
Yeah.
episodes of it. Yeah.
The
Oh, the
movie,
documentary.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, I've watched that. Yes.
you can just put a quarter pounder in there and just watch in 50 years. It looks exactly the same.
Exactly. Yeah.
What would you put in, Chris Adams?
I think I would make it about me, and I would put in a microphone, a snowboard, and a ukulele.
A snowboard in
How
a time
big is this
capsule.
time
It's-
capsule?
It's
It
huge.
must be big.
Because I ride like a 167 snowboard, so it's a big time capsule. But I feel like in 50 years they'll still have snowboards, so I would just like have this old antique
Yeah.
snowboard in there, you know.
Now they hover in 50 years.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly. Yeah. What makes you? What instantly makes you not like another person?
I got my answer.
I think cockiness.
I was gonna say the same.
I think
That's
there's a
what it
difference.
is.
There's a difference between being like humble bragging
Yeah.
and bragging. Because the thing that as a
Or
comedian,
proud of yourself.
yeah, the thing I always try to, and they don't listen, try to tell comics on social media, never say you killed your set. Like don't be like,
Mhm.
oh great, I just killed. This is
Yeah.
my best. Like, you can say best set ever, but you want the audience to tell you
Yeah.
that you killed. Because as a comedian, if you see somebody, it comes off braggadocious.
Yeah.
To me, it's like if you see when I post after shows, I thank everybody that was involved. And again, whatever, they're going to do their thing. I just think it comes off way too cocky, especially when they've only been doing comedy for a couple years.
Mhm.
You're always going to have a great set, but you gotta remember where you came from and thank those that helped get you there.
Yeah.
Make it about the experience, not about yourself.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah,
like cocky.
definitely.
Cocky's out. The dude in the giant truck that thinks he's
Yeah.
hot shit and he's all cocky can't stand you
Or
instantly.
when I see
Yeah.
a white guy talking about his big dick,
All right.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm Asian. It's not fair.
When he goes like this.
Yeah, it's just
For me, I would say, I think it's more like an energy. I feel like it could be a cockiness. It could be just more like a dick or an abusive person. I think I feel that energy a little bit. And I would say that's my thing. And it,
Yeah.
it may not even be accurate, but if I feel that off of you, like I probably
I'm
don't
out.
like you. Yeah.
it's the guy who puts on the Bossy hair commercials for 48 hours.
Yes.
Why?
Let's see. What actor or actress would play you in a documentary?
Steve Carell.
Steve
Oh,
Carell.
awesome.
Nice.
I love him.
Why Steve Carell?
He can do drama. He can do comedy. And he's just lovable.
He's amazing.
But again, when the documentary comes out, it would have to say based on a true story because
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he'd be amazing.
I was watching an
Yeah.
interview with him and he's like, just for the fun, I'd want Ryan Gosling to play me.
Just for the fun.
He's like, he never would,
Yeah.
nor would a documentary ever be made about me.
Exactly.
I don't have one, but I know who you have.
If we were going for look-alike, I'd probably go for Tom Segura just because I get
Gets that a lot.
mistaken for him frequently at comedy things.
That's funny.
yeah. Yeah, pretty often.
Especially Bert Kreischer.
It happened at the Burt
Oh,
Kreischer
yeah.
show. Yeah,
Like,
we were.
oh my God, Tom! And he's
Yeah.
like, why would I be here?
Yeah.
Why
feel
would
like-
Tom Segura be
I
here?
think you could get like Michael Chiklis
Michael
Oh.
who?
from The Shield.
Oh, I don't know
this.
him. No.
Puts on the phone.
I've been told back in the day when I didn't have the beard and had sideburns, I looked like if Drew Carey and Quentin Tarantino had a kid. I look like
Not weird at all.
no.
Let's see if I can keep asking the questions. It'll pull up.
All right. The oddest job you've ever taken to earn a buck.
Oh, worked at a cannery, fish cannery.
Oh, in Alaska,
yeah, in Alaska.
right?
It was like 6 weeks. We worked 160 hours in.
Okay, I could
4
see
weeks.
that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I see it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cannery for you?
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Jared?
I think it's because when I tell people it, nobody believes it. I was a bouncer for 4.5 years in an LGBT nightclub, but I mean, again, I'm
At
not
a
the most
what night?
LGBTQ.
Oh, okay.
Biggest,
okay.
best nightclub, 9 Bar and Bistro, Spokane, Washington,
And
downtown.
you just puffed up your chest.
I was a
and-
door guy. I could spot a fake ID a mile away. I never really had to choke anybody out to my last couple of weeks because I'm not intimidating. So whenever I tell people now that I was a bouncer, they're like,
Yeah.
"How? There's no way."
Yeah.
What about you?
For
You've had
me,
a ton of
The
jobs.
odd jobs. What would be odd?
He was a balloon tire at Marine World.
No. I rented strollers and wheelchairs, and I
Oh.
just hung out in the balloon place. Yeah, Marine World, Africa, USA. So this was Northern California's kind of version of SeaWorld.
Okay.
So yeah, I rented strollers and wheelchairs, and yeah, I would go and hang out in the balloon area because that's where all like the girls worked, was selling
Yeah.
the balloons and
So then when my grandma turned 100
yes.
and we need a balloon tire, Chris is like, I'm really good at
I was
tying
like, I know
balloons.
how to
was
do
like,
this.
Who,
Yeah.
who does that? Who says that at like 40 something? I'm great at tying balloons. Chris.
Sheesh. Yeah, I did it. I mean, I have weird skills like that.
Yeah, he does.
Like I have a resume that has a lot of weird shit on it.
It's like, want a juggler?
Yeah.
Chris will juggle.
Oh yeah, I can juggle too.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wish I could juggle.
Only 3 things is my max. I mean, I wish I could do 4 or 5, but no. All right, what are most people afraid of that doesn't scare you?
Spiders. Well, you're scared of spiders. They don't scare me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm
Most
scared of a
people
lot of stuff.
Afraid of that doesn't scare me.
I'm scared of the dark, for sure.
Let's say I'm not scared of the dark. I am scared of spiders and most insects.
Oh, moths.
Yeah,
You're terrified of
My
moths.
coworkers know yesterday too. I don't do bugs. I don't.
Oh,
I don't do
nice.
bugs. No.
Yes, I hate bugs.
Roller coasters, I guess.
Scared
scared
of
of
roller
roller
coasters.
coasters.
Well,
okay.
that doesn't scare me, right? So it scares other
okay.
people, not
yeah,
me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I love roller coasters.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
I have a lot of friends that hate roller coasters.
Oh, yeah, I love roller
My mom won't do
coasters.
roller coasters.
Actually, the first time we went to Lagoon,
I was terrified.
Wendy
I had
would
to get
not.
really drunk to
Oh,
go
really?
on. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then we had
it was day 2.
Yeah, it was
actually.
day 2. We didn't even go first one. I was like, why don't we just ride these ones
The
that
little
I've seen
fair
at the fair?
ones.
These are
Yeah,
awesome.
little
Well, see,
tilt the whirl.
Like you, I used to wear glasses. So going on roller coasters, I would never wear them because I was afraid that they would fly off.
Yeah.
So I put them in something. So I was like, I'm
Blinded.
I'm very nearsighted. Like I wouldn't be able to read your logo without my contacts.
right.
Mhm.
And so it was just like, woo. And then once I got contacts,
Was the terror even
I don't
more?
I don't think I was scared at all.
Oh,
Because
wow.
I'd been on them so much before.
Mhm.
I'm just like, yeah, okay, let's
Yeah.
do this. And there's one in Spokane or Coeur d'Alene that just you go down, you're 180 degrees backwards, and go the other way, and then you're looking down.
Wow.
Nothing.
Oh,
Nothing.
wow, nice.
Yeah.
Most of it, unless you go in the
Right.
middle seat, then I'm scared because your feet dingle. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. All right, last one, and then we'll get out of here. If you were given $1,000 to spend on your closest friend, what would you buy them?
Hmm.
So that'd, again, be Easton Crossley in Spokane, Washington. Probably a new gaming setup. He's a huge gamer, so I'd probably get him that.
Oh, awesome.
Oh,
Or a new guitar. So we do when I was in Spokane when he visits and vice versa. We do karaoke under the name Caucasian,
Uh-huh.
but it's spelled Caucazn. So it's
Okay.
combining
Cool.
both. It's kind of funny, but
This is your bestie?
yeah. So
I have not seen you do karaoke
I'm a
yet.
karaoke whiz.
Oh, what's your favorite karaoke song to sing?
Solo or with him?
Solo and then with him.
Solo would be Uptown Funk because I do a stage jump. So I did that when I was in Austin. So we at the TV festival I did karaoke at my birthday.
Mhm.
So I did about 4 songs. Crowd pleasers.
Nice. Yeah.
Together, so we have performed in 3 states, including Austin. So he went to Austin with me one year. Probably Everybody by Backstreet Boys is one that is a crowd pleaser that we
Okay.
do. He can do the Macklemore raps pretty well, though.
Do you guys dance when you're doing Backstreet Boys?
Oh,
You're like,
oh,
everybody.
yeah, oh, for sure. And then we do a lot of One Direction now because, we're 33. One Direction fans are like 28 now.
Yeah.
Right.
And I told him, I was like, we need to do what's relevant. We need to get the girls. And he's like, I hate One Direction. Like, trust me. So we've done like 4 One Direction songs, and it worked every time.
Oh, wow.
And he's like, okay, I got you. What's yours? What's your
Let's see. If I had $1,000 to spend on close, I mean, like, I think currently Wendy would be my closest friend right
That's
now.
cheating.
What would you buy me?
What would I
was
buy
thinking
you?
Kathy. I would give her a trip. If it was...
I'm not your closest friend.
Well, I mean, if we were like closest other friends.
next time
Okay.
on Dr.
What
Phil?
about like
If we were
exactly.
talking about like outside
How about
of
Clayton
us,
or
like
Antonio?
little Chris.
Yeah, little Chris.
Because I mean, I was
Buy
big
him a-
Chris. I would buy a little Chris. Probably buy him a new stereo for his car and
Right.
maybe some woofers or an EQ, whatever $1,000 would buy these days. Because he was always into that back in the day. Whenever he got a car, he was
Even
always
that
hooking
Geo
up.
Metro.
It was
Get a
Geo
pimp
Metro
out.
had hydraulics in it back in the 90s in Vallejo, California. Yes.
You should just
Pimped
get
it
him.
out.
You should just get him a 1980 Toyota Camry.
He'd probably
Yeah.
love it. Yeah. Or a Chevy Love pickup. He had one of those at the
So
time,
did my
actually.
dad.
Yes.
Jeez.
The Chevy Love. All right, awesome. Let's get out of here. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you for
Anything?
having
You want
me.
to plug? We got people
You
on
got
Insta.
the brunch.
Yeah. Oh, hi.
We have a lot of people. Yeah.
Oh, hello.
Mm-hmm.
Upcoming shows. Well, since this is on Instagram Live too, this will be outdated when this episode airs.
Right.
Tomorrow at 2 p.m. at Watson's, we have the Brunch to Last with Crystal Moore. Hey, What's Up, the podcast on Toasted Marshmallow Studios. I have Kendra and Cheryl coming on the next couple weeks. She's on the new show Live and Local with Dave Coulier from Full House.
Ah.
So she'll be on the next few weeks. Trying to reschedule Phil, the creator of Grand Crew. Subscribe to my Patreon, patreon.com/Jared Munson.
Yes.
Thank you guys for having me.
Heck
I
yeah.
don't think I have anything else coming up yet. I'm on Instagram at Jared Munson.
And the show that was formerly known as D&D is coming back.
Yep, Funny Feud and Freaky Friday. So they're both double Fs, are going to be coming back in September at Watson's. We're looking at doing other shows as well. So watsonsboise.com. Be sure to check out the shows at the lounge. Just support comedy and
Yes.
support Toasted Marshmallow Adventure
Thank
Studios.
you. And hey, what's up?
Yes. Yeah. Hey, what's up? Toast Marshmallow Adventures. Yeah. And in the future for the Drink and Debate, which is the Friendly Feud in the
Funny
future.
Funny
Funny
Feud.
Feud.
Friendly
Yeah.
Funny Feud.
If you need judges, Wendy and I are down. If
For
you want
sure.
to throw
I'll
Chris,
try not to
our
be
Greg
throwing up
Cisco
that
in
day.
there as well. Yeah, we could do that too because he was hilarious at the Drink and Debate. But thank you so much for being here
Yeah.
And
tonight.
thanks for again. Thanks for letting me peer pressure you in. It was on the D&D stage. It was like talking about your podcast. I'm like, yeah, when are you gonna have me on?
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
It's
well,
basically the same thing that Nate Ford trying to come on my podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Nate Ford for years. So it's basically become the Jimmy Kimmel, Matt Damon thing. I would love to have Nate Ford. I'm just not gonna.
Heck yeah. You're not gonna at this
just
point. You're like,
because.
It's
He's
too long.
he's my Matt Damon.
right. Right.
So he might one
okay.
of these times you might just have to have him sneak in and I'll
Right.
pretend to
Oh,
be
that'd
upset.
be
Yeah.
Just don't tell me which episode though either.
that would. Are you
Okay.
super? You're okay with that? That'd be hilarious. Just
Yeah.
be like, hey Nate, come in on this one.
And he can just
Just drop
chat
in.
with
It'd be
whoever
funny 'cause
you're
I-
interviewing.
I emailed Dave Coulier's people to try to come on because I told him
Yeah.
I name dropped Bob Saget. Rest in peace. So it would be funny if he came in on that one if I get him.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
But yeah, also let me know who you want to see on my podcast.
Okay.
I'll email
Definitely.
people.
Oh, awesome.
So
I think we need to take a little note from you. Just go
I think so,
ahead,
too.
You
shoot
really-
your
'cause-
shot. Yeah.
a lot of times you can find who they're represented by pretty easy.
Right.
Mhm.
Fun fact out there because like Dave Coulier on his Instagram has his email.
Oh, nice.
So you
I'm
just
just-
emailed.
Yeah, I mean, there's people, and again, I get it. We're in a crazy world these days. If Phil doesn't go through, I'll never hold it against him. His show's picked up for a second season on NBC,
Mhm.
and he's busy. So I mean, that happens. You know,
Yeah.
there's things that happen where people just unfortunately have to cancel,
Yeah.
which is why you try to have backups. Right now, I'm kind of in a lull
Yeah.
because
Mhm.
I've gotten through a lot of my bucket list.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I usually take summers off anyways because it's too hot for me to.
to
Right.
go anywhere.
But yeah, I mean, yeah. For whoever's listening, anybody I know watching live right now?
You got Bill DeGilio.
Hi,
you
Bill.
got Tina Towns.
Oh, hi, Tina.
You got
Tina Towns,
Brett.
folks. Tina Towns has these amazing little pins that she's made. So be sure to
yeah.
support her and
Yes,
get those
and
pins.
stickers.
And
There's one on
stickers.
our
We
door.
got a sticker
Yeah.
up on the door.
So
What is
Tina's
this?
amazing. Visit her,
There it
support
is.
her. Did you say Brett Haney or which
Yep.
Brett? Brett Haney has.
Tina's saying hi.
Hi, Brett Haney has dreads. So
Bill
be
says
sure to.
hi.
Hi. But yeah, shoot your shot. Like that's the thing. Like again, kind of know where you are. Like if you've only been doing comedy for a little bit, don't be like I can headline, please. Because again, you represent the community. But
Yeah.
you know, people like Haley Van Hart Weiss, Jen. I mean, Jen does it anyway. Jen has access
Yeah.
to everybody. But
Mm.
like, look
Just
at their
ask.
look at their Instagrams. Go to their websites because a lot of the websites, if you go to their contact, have who they're represented by.
Right.
That's how I got Guy Fieri's people contacting me. That's how I got
Yeah.
Phil Rosenthal's people contacting me. And again, you might get 5-6 no's from them consistently because they're busy. You just got to be on them. And you
Wow.
got to try every quarter because you never know. They might have an hour that frees up.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of things out there. You just got to keep. I mean, an email takes 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
go to a website. Like I'll even watch like the Today Show. I had this girl who was the youngest to climb Mount Everest that was on. It didn't work out because now she's going to Stanford in the fall and doing track for them. We had a date set up, but like she was exhausted from climbing Mount Everest. I get it. I would never climb Mount Everest.
No, none of us would.
But you know, again,
No.
you prepare for those no's, but you just keep sending emails.
yeah,
And then again, you never know. Maybe next summer when she's freed up in her summer season,
that's true.
they've already talked to me, so they kind of know what it's about.
Yeah.
So it's just, I mean, shoot Martin Short an email. I mean, shoot Steve
Mhm.
Martin an email. Like,
Yeah.
the worst thing that's going to happen is they're
Is
going
a
to
no.
say no, or as Travis and I thought when Bob Saget came onto the Zoom, it might not be Bob Saget. Somebody could have been pranking us.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
but it was.
It was him. We were so worried because it could even be funnier though. Like,
yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
like it's
yeah.
not
You
Bob.
just
It,
play along
exactly.
the whole time.
Yeah. So that's all I got to say. Thank you guys for having me. I
Thank
talk a
you.
lot. So.
No,
Thank
you're an
you so
awesome
much.
interview.
Yes.
Thank you, Jared.
All right. I'm signing out.
Signing off.
I'm Chris Adams.
I'm Wendy Moser. # Get Toasted.
Stay toasted.
Thank you.
Thank you.